Yeah, we're going to do credit card.
That would be really big.
Alright, I'm gonna let these guys in the Zoom. That's alright.
Yeah.
Is anybody coming from Oil Canner or?
Yes, they'll be on and Zoom.
What's his name, Niles?
All right, does anyone need a copy of the findings of fact?
I printed mine out.
Catherine, I would
Okay,
take one.
great. I figured you all would, but just in case, and I know that the councils will read it. So
Yeah, I know when I printed
You
mine
wanna
out.
take one first?
It actually, it's funny, it printed one from the back, the front, back and forth like that. I don't know why.
What, are you over there?
I'm all
Got
set,
it?
thank you. I'm all set, thank you. Mr. Code Officer, you can go up front,
Most certainly.
unless Tom wants to go up front.
Well,
Yeah, so
we need to open the meeting and then
Any election?
do election, I guess. Right?
Whatever you want to do, you have 5, so you all have your numbers.
But as far as the chair,
As far as the chair, you can run this meeting because it's not on the agenda. You can run as the vice chair, but I'll remind Kathy again to place the election of officers on the next agenda unless you want to waive the rules and put it on tonight. If you want to do that, you can.
Who was vice chair?
Mo.
Oh, Mo, so.
He left just in time. So if you want to waive the rules, once you open up the meeting and put on the election of officers, you can do that, or we can do it at the next meeting, your choice.
or take a second.
Yeah, we'll have to do it, get over.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're all here.
Okay. So I guess we'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I guess first thing we can do is do elections.
I make a nomination to Tom as chair.
A second.
Second, third, fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, Tom.
One of the
I
fastest.
told my wife, I might get twice in my face, she says, you don't get paid anything?
Go grab the gavel.
And
But you
now,
can't get docked either.
so now we'll do election for vice chair.
I make a nomination of Simone as vice chair.
I'll second it.
Anybody else? No, we'll vote.
Aye.
Aye.
That takes care of that.
We're elected.
So you can go home tonight and tell them you're elected.
I know.
We do adoption of minutes. I didn't print that off, but anybody find anything in the minutes need amended?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of December meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And no public hearing tonight. No old business. New business. Site plan review application by Holt Tanner to construct taxi lane, apron, and T-hanger at Pittsfield Airport. Who wants to start out with this?
Well, Oil Canner, keep going, explain it. or-
So, you want to go through on your end?
Hi, Niels Gonzalez from Oil Tanner. Quite honestly, I haven't been to one of these in probably a decade, so should I kind of explain the project, or?
Yeah, basically, just explain, the project and, what it entails. Don't have to go into real fine detail.
Okay, so this is the second part of a multi-phase project. Last year we installed some drainage improvements to make ready for this project. This project will add a 6-unit T-hanger with 14-foot doors to expand the capacity at the airport for housing aircraft, cold storage of aircraft. So it'll add as a taxi lane to get to the hangars, a ramp in front of the hangars, and then a metal prefab hangar building. is about the extent of it. Permitting was all done a couple of years ago, as far as environmental permitting goes. And now we're at the stage of asking for site plan approval.
Does anybody have any questions at this point? No, I guess not. Do you want to have anything you want to say?
Oh, very good. Catherine Rhodes, Town Manager. I wanted to note, this is a project that the town has worked on with the local airport committee, with our fixed base operator, who's also the airport manager for operations, and Hoyle Cannon Associates, along with the Maine DOT and the Federal Aviation Administration for over a decade. So that's when the project first was hatched. It is a significantly large project, usually beyond a town of this size or an airport of this size, given the construction costs and the fact that the town cannot accumulate more than $600,000 in entitlement money. We receive $150,000 of entitlement money for the airport each year, which can be used toward airport projects, which are not safety items, which are more of revenue generation. So we can only generate a certain amount of money and keep it. So that means you have to get a lot of grants. We've been very fortunate with the help of the state and federal government. We have a little wrinkle that we're working on now that happened this weekend that I found about, but we already have a solution with the state regarding some additional grant funding. And when we get to the financial capacity section, we'll go over that. And you can, if you approve the application, you can approve it conditional upon getting the additional grant. We already have gotten over $2 million for the project, and so the DOT and FAA have been very, very supportive, and they're offering some additional funding, but we need to work out all the details. So this is a project that the town will own the hangar, rent out the spaces to people who have been waiting for a long time for a hangar who cannot afford it, build a hangar. And obviously, from what the town has gone through, you can see why it's very hard to build a hangar now with all of the costs. You've got the Maine Energy and Construction building program, as well as the requirements to meet the standards of the FAA. And just in general, it's very difficult to build any projects now due to the construction costs, especially now since COVID has taken place and things are a bit behind. So it's very difficult for people to be able to get a space. This will assist in bringing businesses to town that would like to have an airplane here. There are businesses that have airplanes now that are being stored perhaps, instead of right by the door, they're behind another airplane. So you've got to move out both airplanes in order to get to the back one. Caleb Curtis, the airport manager, as part of his lease agreement and contract with the town, will manage the facility. The revenues from the leases that are being reviewed now for what should be the suggested costs will come directly to the town. So it's a great project for the town. We've received additional grants from the Maine DOT and FAA. We received some additional COVID money that didn't have a match, and so we'll be working further on the financing shortly. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a question. Now, we're approving the site plan, right?
Yes.
By approving that doesn't mean we approve the funding of it? Does it count?
No, there's no the local funding. No, you're not. But under financial guarantee, let's say you didn't waive it. We would have to come up with something. Normally on projects like this and Chimbro's projects and others that have a lot of financing, we do waive that. But no, you're not approving any money whatsoever.
So that's more town council?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Anybody else have any questions? Bear with me, I guess I'll learn as it goes more. Guess we'll start on review procedures, section 7. I see very little in there that we have to deal with. next one down, the planning board determines whether to hold a public hearing. I'll do what my predecessor was doing, we'll hold that off till we get down the list. Written notices were mailed by the building inspector. I think those are all taken care of. So the next one down, the planning board needs to determine whether to hold a site inspection. Anybody have any questions on what's going on, where it's going? So I guess we'll say we don't need a site inspection. On the letter G, the planning board shall take final action on said notice within 40 days. That's the one says we need to, do we need to act on that one? Do I have any explanation on just what we're doing on that one exactly?
All right, so you will be acting on it, generally, whether you have a public hearing or whether you schedule a public hearing or not, so you'll be within the 40 days.
Yeah, I think technically we're acting on it now by.
Right, okay. By having a meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, the application, and consider the application.
When we get down, application fee has been received. Technical review fee. Does the board determine if we need a fee or that be waived?
Wait.
That'll be waived. Section 8. Fees were been paid, signed application, no waivers. And the 12 copies have been sent out, received. Go to 8.1, looking down through, looks like everything in that section has been completed. 8.2, existing conditions, looking down through, everything has been completed.
Generally speaking, I don't think I've had any issues with any of this.
Right.
That came up when I reviewed it.
If anybody has any questions on any section, just chime in. Planning board, do we have the information submitted be sufficient, or do we require DEP permit additionally?
This is for the natural features that were minimal.
Yes, we have some federal permits and DEP
Right.
permits.
Anybody have any questions on that, or is it sufficient information?
Sufficient.
Okay, let's go with that. Eight three, looks like everything through that is completed. Everything in that section is considered sufficient, or need more information?
You want Jay?
Yes, Jay. And then on K, traffic, that's sufficient.
Yeah.
We get to section 9, utilization of the site. With all the information in the package, is that sufficient, or do we need more information?
I'm satisfied.
Good. Okay. Adequacy of the road system, 9.2. That's nothing really
No
changing.
traffic increase.
Right, there's nothing really changing on that. So we'll call that sufficient. Access to site, basically none of that really applies. 9.3. 9.4, access, pretty much the same thing. Internal vehicle circulation, that looks to be complete on the appendix C, sheet D 1.3. Erosion control, 9.9. think in the package showed more than enough paperwork for that. Anybody have any questions on that? Get down to the natural features, no real changes on that. That's sufficient. Water quality, nothing really changing there. No hazardous, no storage materials. And I guess we get down to 10.4 improvement guarantees. Do we feel we have any questions on that, or do we pass that and send it on to town council?
I'm satisfied.
Kathy, this has been bid, right, and awarded?
Yes, what has taken place is it was bid, it was awarded last October. However, the contractors have decided to pull out of the project, which I just learned about. And so in conversation with the engineer, Caleb Curtis, fixed base operator, airport manager, FAA and MDOT, the Navy Department of Transportation has figured out a plan on how we will rebid the project rather than deal with the contractor and try to give him 20 to 26% more because he's got additional costs. We'll just simply rebid the project. If the project comes in at a reasonable amount, the Maine DOT and FAA are prepared to award additional grant funding. This in a concept project right now. And we have an agreement with another town in which their airport was going to lose their funding unless they transferred it to another town that needed it. So they transferred the funding to the town of Pittsfield. So Rangeley transferred some funds from their entitlement monies that they were going to lose to the town of Pittsfield. And then we need to pay it back from our entitlement monies by a certain date. We'll need to move that 1 year later. And then there's discussion of some funding from another town down in Southern Maine who's going to lose $95,000 and has no project. So that would be transferred directly to the town of Pittsfield so we could have that $95,000. So this is all a concept to fix the issue that has just arisen because this all matched up and we were all set to go. It's probably a good thing that happened now so that we don't get into a legal battle in the middle of the project.
Yeah.
And deal with all the change orders and things. So
Rebid, when would you anticipate it being rebid?
it would be rebid immediately.
Okay, and the projected start would be this spring and summer, rather than the fall?
There
I
is
remember
a
this was the
schedule
last
I
time.
was given. We would finish the project by the end of the year. So the proposed timeline now is plans available for a rebid February 22nd of this month. Bids opened March 24th. Construction contract in place April 22nd. Submittals approved. Contractor can order building with a 12-week lead time. On May 27th, start construction earthwork. July 18th, start building erection August 15th, and complete construction November 18th. And of course, we have to fit the appropriate council meetings in there, so it might push it back a little bit. But
Yeah,
yes,
that's a better schedule than the last,
this
because
is
it's in the fall, late fall, they were
Correct,
doing that
yeah.
paving, it's expensive, yeah.
yeah, it's a very aggressive schedule, but a good one
Yeah.
that gets the project done and things don't hang around.
Right.
Anybody else have any questions?
Well, that's too bad. We went through the effort to get it there and didn't work out.
Well, I guess better happen early than
Now,
after
yes.
the project gets started.
Yeah, because if somebody just doesn't have enough money to do the project, you know it's going to be difficult throughout the entire project. So it's better to have this happen now.
So anybody think we need an improvement guarantee or?
I don't.
Okay, I guess that's no. So, formal guarantee, if we don't need a guarantee, we don't need a formal guarantee. I'll go back to earlier on public hearing. Does anybody think we need to have a public hearing on this? So do we want to have one vote on everything we just went over? Everybody in agreement? Say aye.
Aye.
So we should have a first and a second on the motion.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about this. So I need a motion on approval of the airport project.
I make a motion that we approve the airport project as it's presented.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Thank you.
Do we have anything we have to sign tonight?
I'd like to bring something up.
Did you
Okay.
have some pictures?
Um,
Did you receive?
we get the booklets in the mail,
I have not.
and, or they hand deliver
Right.
actually. And I just wanted to suggest if there's a way that we can streamline our process so that we're not having a lot of duplicate paperwork. We get them in our email as well. I don't know that that would suffice for the purposes of, the voting and so on. I'm not sure. It just seems as though there's a duplication of effort, and I'm sensitive to the cost of the materials too.
Well, I think on the big printed book, we have to, everybody has to have one of those online, I think. Or not,
Online.
Or has to have one.
Yeah, you have to submit 12 copies of it.
Right. That was kind of thinking here, we had 12
So we
copies.
do have to have a copy for each one.
Right,
And it's so large, it would be hard for you to look at it online.
right.
So you want to go through the book. Some of these, if they're small packages, we can send the whole item all together.
Right.
If people like using the email, some people like the hard copies and or don't have a printer.
Right.
But to her point, I mean, this stuff can all be scanned in. I mean, the engineer can do that, or whoever's preparing that, plans and everything, and you look at it that way. Then maybe provide some hard copies here at the town office if someone wants to put their hands on it.
Well, yeah.
I thought the 12 copies, that was part of the,
Yes.
Right, but can that-
possibly change, yeah.
Yeah, it's part of your ordinance. That's
Yeah, you
why.
have to-
Come on, Joe, you haven't thinking about being able to get rid of hard copy?
Well, I wondered if that's necessary for us to each have a hard copy. I know that I can read mine right on my email, and I don't have a problem with that. But if we need the hard copy, if that's a requirement, then
Technology will happen when we're gonna have a little laptop right in front of us here, sitting here, and
We're headed for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can speak to that.
Oh, you have, really?
We're headed there.
Yeah,
Really?
it's still needed. For example, they just switched over the planning board. Now everyone has a tablet that the town provides, and all the applications are on there. But we still do require a minimum of at least 2 hard copies of the plans for signatures, so that then it can be filed,
Right.
and then the applicant has their
That
copy
makes
as well. So you still do need 2, but it's better as well. So.
but that would be a kind of safe.
We probably want 4 if we went that way,
Yeah.
because the public
Yes.
does come in and we leave them out, call them desk
Sure.
jobs.
Yeah.
But sometimes they leave the building too.
Oh,
What I said before is that at the end of the meeting, you can turn this back in.
Well, that was my
And they can
next-
be given to the general contractor to disseminate to the subcontractor.
that was my next
Yeah.
suggestion. We take these home, and honestly,
Was it a box?
I don't know what to do with it. when I leave.
Within a year or two.
I still have a lot.
Yeah.
That's usually what
That's a good
I
idea.
I've stored it for a year or so.
That was my
So you can come
suggestion.
back on it now, let them get rid of it. And what Brent just said, I don't have a problem not bringing this home, leaving it for, contractor or desk copy or something else. That's, especially on something like this, it's not likely to come back to haunt us down the road, I would think.
Well, if it does, we have
Right,
everything.
we still have copies.
And I think just having those emails, if we save those emails, that's a nice library right there. We have that option to do that.
Right.
So that works well when everything comes in together, which I think it will from now on, but when it didn't, because people were learning, and
Right.
some of the applicants had changes that were needed.
Sure.
And everything doesn't come in at the same time. It is confusing when there's multiple emails.
That's true. That's true, and that's a good point as well. In that case, usually what happens is that there's something extra when we get here.
Yes.
And in that case, that's what we'll have to do.
Yeah, we'll
I'll make that.
try not to do that.
Is there anybody on the Zoom meeting that needs to speak to this some more?
If we didn't have to provide 12 paper copies, we'd be happy.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, a lot of the times they, you need them to give you guys all the information, but then they collect dust afterwards.
Right.
Recycle or burn them, whatever.
And, as far as the expense goes, I would think it wouldn't take very long to pay for a tablet for each person with the cost of printing.
Right.
That's very expensive.
Yeah, because somebody's got to print and put it all together.
Right.
And that's what, I know it's usually the little person.
Exactly. How much time does that use?
So you could consider in what you would like for your submittals at the next meeting, you can put together a write-up based upon what you've indicated here and what you would like for your submittals, and look at the ordinance and see if you want to propose a change.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can put that on the agenda for next month,
Okay.
for next meeting.
Yeah.
Do you know, anybody know right now if there is a meeting on the agenda for next month?
There are several applications wandering around, but I don't know if the building inspector has received any input from the people that came to you for site plan review.
Person out on Phillips Corner Road, he has a storage.
Yes, storage units. Okay. We may have a problem.
Okay.
But we could put it on the next agenda, whether it be in March or April.
Right.
And then we'll be getting into the busy season, and then there'll be site plan reviews.
Is there anything else we need to do for the airport project?
So we would need the, Niles, we would need the large copies that we have to file at the registry. And we'll work.
The full-size plan sets?
I'm trying to remember what the size is we normally, 18 by 24 or something like that we usually sign?
Usually 24 by 36.
24 by
Yeah, I think it
36,
is.
okay.
Yeah, it's big.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's just the full plan set, and usually on the cover page is a box for the planning board signatures.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Other than that, we're all set. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for approving our project.
Okay, thank you. There was nothing else on the meeting for tonight. Anybody have anything for discussion?
Oh, I get a question, just numbers. The 5 of us here, we need a quorum of 5 to conduct business, so
That's what I believe.
Yes. We've advertised multiple times. We've made pleas to people. If you know of
Well,
anybody that you think would be good on the
We've had a
plan.
couple names come up. I've talked to one that might want to do it down the road, later this year, and then we've got a couple of names that we came up with that we'll try to.
It's going to be recruitment,
Right.
basically, because volunteerism for committees has really fallen off since COVID set in.
what do we do if we don't get anybody?
Well, technically, we have to have all 5 of us here, but the meeting will continue right now.
So there's no, so I was just wondering, so if there isn't 5 people here, does it revert back to one of you 2 people to come in? No, it doesn't do it.
No,
Doesn't work that way.
unfortunately. What would happen is that you could sit here and discuss things. If
Right.
you had a public hearing scheduled, and this happened to the council twice while I've been here, we didn't want to reschedule the public hearing. Everybody was here, and there weren't enough councilors to vote. But I can open the meeting, or the mayor can, especially if the mayor's here. They can open the meeting and then get all the information, and not have to reschedule the public hearing, and then bring all the information to the next council meeting.
Well,
So
sir,
talk,
is that,
not vote.
if you're a contract, you're on time frame, and we don't have a quorum here, and maybe it's up another month.
Right.
I mean, you can't lose another month.
Oh, you could do a special meeting.
As long as you get the 5 people
Five
together.
people. Yeah, I've advertised
That,
this.
that quorum number, is that in the,
That's in your bylaws that the planning board set, and then you indicated that 4 votes would allow the application to go forward, to be approved. And 4 is a quorum for the town council, so that works out well. 4 of,
okay, so you have to have 4 votes, so technically if one of us was missing, you would still vote.
correct.
The chair can still vote.
Yes, if you
Okay.
change your
So
quorum.
that helps a little bit.
Oh, so 5 is in the quorum, 4 is?
5 is a quorum, but 4 is required for a positive vote,
For confidence vote.
yes.
Okay.
So you could also revisit your bylaws if you wanted to at that.
Right. I guess,
Can we do that in one meeting?
I would say you need to list it on the agenda because it's something, you're changing actual bylaws.
Or would we, I mean, would the bylaws be able to be, could we discuss it and go through it and approve it and get that taken care of in one meeting?
At another meeting, yes.
Okay.
That's your choice, you set the bylaws. It might be difficult to have just 4, but these are unique times too.
so I guess,
But it sounds like, so we have a 5 for quorum, but even if the 4 of them, there's only 4 votes for the count to vote.
That would be 4. That's what you set for your bylaws.
So what does quorum mean?
A majority. Yours is strange, but that's what was set. Usually, it would be 4 of 7 would be a quorum, or 3 of 5. But this was your choice in your bylaws, so you set them that 5 people had to come to the meeting, and 4 had to vote in a positive for an application or ordinance amendment to go
So I
forward.
think you still
Oh,
need
I
5
see.
people there to do
5
business.
people need to be here, right?
Do business.
Before you can have a vote.
And then, for example, if someone had to recuse himself from voting on a project for whatever reason, say you were working on it and you didn't feel comfortable, you can still pass with 4. But you only 5 people to do official business then, I guess. That's
So 5 people to do the discussion, to go through it, but then if only 4 people vote, that's still acceptable.
Yes.
That's how I
In
understand
the
it.
positive.
if they all vote the same
Correct.
way. Now, when you say in the positive, what if 4 voted in the negative? Not that
Well,
that,
that's okay. That means
Okay, as
that
long as
it
four
all vote
vote
together, you
the
just
same
didn't
way.
approve the application. It'd be the same thing as if it was 2 to 2 or something. It
So
should
it's 2 to 2, so if 2 voted against and 2 voted for, then
Failure.
It wouldn't pass.
It's
it
not.
wouldn't pass.
so possibly,
Even with 3 to 2 in that sense, you need 4 positives.
We need more members.
so possibly what we'll do is we'll try to twist some arms over the next month or so, and if things happen, we can't have a hard time filling positions, then maybe we'll look at that more seriously, maybe change the numbers a little bit.
That seems logical.
Yes. So I'll have an item in a future meeting for you. Unfortunately, the town has acquired several tax-acquired properties, and so under the tax-acquired property ordinance, we're required to come to the planning board to present the properties so that you can decide if they should be recommended to be kept by the town or to be sold. Of course, we would like to sell everything back to the property owners, but if that does not happen, then we have to put the properties out to bid. The town doesn't want to keep any properties. I think this was put into the rules in case the town came across a beautiful property that you want to keep for the town or something that was strategic for some future activity we were going to do, or for a property that was perfect for a community center or something. That's one of the projects you always wanted. But generally, when the town acquires tax-acquired property, these properties have encumbrances on them and issues with them, and we do not want them.
So generally, we would
Look at them.
give guidance,
Yes.
and then the town council would make the final decision.
Correct, you make a recommendation. Yes. Yep, exactly. Normally, we don't have any, but this has been difficult. Things have accumulated, so the people that struggled to pay the taxes last time that just barely got by or used all their credit cards just couldn't do it this time. So that's where we're at.
And it won't get better.
No, but it won't.
Catherine, I don't want to talk out of school, but I do want to ask, is anything going on across the street? I noticed that something happened to the owner.
Something did happen. The owner is recovering. He did survive the
Fell off his roof.
massive fall. He is recovering. His attorney is handling the property, and the code officers going to be working with the attorney to see what else we can get done. He was making progress. Of a nature, we'll put it that way. We have 4 of these that we voted to enforce and go to court. However, we
Weren't
have
there 11 to begin with that you and Steve had identified as?
Yes. And so we settled on 4, which was hard to do. We actually settled on 1, and then I brought in more. So the 4 more, 4 with the most issues that would be the most virulent and problematic were brought in. And so there's now extenuating circumstances. So if the town tries to take somebody to court that is not able to move to go to court, that doesn't look good at all.
Right.
So we'll be discussing those shortly. He was making progress in his own way.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Hey. Thank you, Catherine.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Try to think of some people you can twist arms.
And the packages are very good. Most of the engineers do very well. This package was well put together, so I thought. So it's actually easy to review, and now with the planner here helping us, it's pretty easy. Basically. So
Right.
hopefully that will help you talk people into it.
A couple of the names that came up, would fit in well by knowledgeable of this type of work. So, yeah.
Hasn't Dan Higgins done it before?
Excuse me?
Hasn't he done it before?
I'm not sure.
He worked on a committee.
He was on a committee?
He was on a committee, maybe the comp plan.
I visited with him about a month ago, and he expressed quite a bit of interest, but he thought
Thank you.
later this year.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yep, I do.
Good night.
Awesome.